The Score North Twin Show.
Gentlemen, we've got some feedback here from people that are still unhappy about what didn't happen at the trade deadline. So we'll get into a couple things, feedback Friday related here on the Score North Twin Show. We got our resident Twins beat podcaster Declan in the house. We got the sports dad Judd, former Twins beat writer Phil Mackey here. And before we do anything else and get to a random twin of the week, thank you guys for helping us get to over $13,000 raised so far this week in our Power of Sports auction benefiting the Courage Kenny Rehabilitation Institute. There's still some twin stuff. So there are still 10 buy it now Twins executive balcony tickets available. So we're throwing a party, a Score North Twin Show party on the private Twins executive balcony, perched above left field, skyline views. You got full stadium views. It'll be Wednesday, September 11th, 6:10 first pitch against the Angels. It'll be us. Patrick Royce's going to make an appearance. And these tickets, and by the way, it includes appetizers, and also you get to just hang out and talk baseball with the sports dad for the duration of the game. I mean, that's priceless. And $99 per ticket. There's 10 available. I saw someone just swooped up 5 last night. So you could get one, or you could just, I think, get all 10, depending. $99 a pop at scorenorth.com/auction. Scorenorth.com/auction. The Champions Club package, too.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Steal.
But that balcony is great because that is literally where the Twins executive offices are. So, like, if you go up to the Budweiser deck and look down, you can't see left field below you because it's blocked off. This deck, you can see the entire field.
It's awesome.
So, like, it's really, really cool, and it's a private experience. As I recall, the eats were really good as well.
Yeah, I don't know exactly if it's like the same spread, but it was.
I'm counting on that spread.
Chicken fingers.
I'm counting on that spread. Let's make that spread happen, folks.
Sausages and stuff. It was phenomenal.
It was good, yeah.
So, again, thank you guys so far this week. It's been just wildly successful, and there's still plenty more things out. There's all sorts of – there's a Flagrant House package that includes an Anthony Edwards signed jersey and 4 lower-level tickets to a game. We've got the Monday Night Football experience via ESPN Radio, Purple against Chicago, and some other bells and whistles there. Dinner with the Purple Daily Crew at Parlor in Minneapolis. So check them all out at scorenorth.com/auction. And then the tickets we're talking about are buy it now, as you can just buy those. And once they're gone, they're gone. So, boys, before we get to a random twin of the week and finish the week in a fun, strong way here, I want to read you an email from John S. It's a little bit lengthy, but it's a really interesting email, and I'd love your thoughts on it. So he says, Dex, Judd, and Phil, I really enjoy listening to the Twin Show. It's great that you guys brought it back, talking Twins baseball. Like most fans, I'm very disappointed with the Twins after the trade deadline inactivity, in addition to the PR nightmare they've created for themselves this season. As a 16-year season ticket holder, yesterday made me decide it was time to do something about it. So I wrote an email to my season ticket rep, and I asked him to share the email with the baseball operations folks. Just feeling better after sending it, I got a response yesterday morning saying it had been passed along, which I appreciated, but shortly thereafter, my phone rings with a Target Field number. When I answer the phone, I was shocked to hear Dave St. Peter on the other end. The CEO, what is his title now? CEO and president, right? He works directly underneath the Pohlads.
Yeah. Yep.
And he called John S. a couple days ago. I guess I should have cleared reading this email verbatim with John, but I assume that when you guys email the show, you'd like us to read on the show. Yep. I don't think there's anything that I shouldn't be reading here, but Dave was kind enough to spend 10 minutes talking with me about my email, which included thanking me for the feedback and assuring me the organization does care about the fans. Next, he shared some insight into the ongoings of the trade deadline, which even included some names of targeted players and broad asking prices from other teams. We concluded by talking about how I still play amateur baseball in a 35-plus league, and I'll be attending Twins fantasy camp for the first time this year. And he said, hey, hit me up and give me some feedback about Twins fantasy camp. So while the season's inaction or the organization have left a sour taste in my mouth, the first-class actions of my season ticket holder rep and the Twins president CEO Dave St. Peter not only allowed me to be heard, but to also feel valued as a fan who will continue to support this team. And I'll just sum up the rest of it by saying he is still very frustrated, but thought that was a cool move from the CEO of the team calling him back and regarding his email. I don't know. What do you make of that in relation to everything that has percolated this season for this team?
Well, Dave, who we've both known, Phil, for a long time, is a very fan-friendly, non-standoffish type of guy. So it actually, while there, I'm sure, are some teams that you'd be shocked to get that phone call from a chief executive, in Dave's case, I'm not surprised. I also think it's probably very smart because, this guy probably was considering potentially dropping his tickets. Now he probably won't. But as he said, you're still frustrated. Like it helps. And I mean, I wish he potentially could have included the teams and names of the guys that Dave brought up. That would be great for.
I bet if we emailed John S. back off the record, he'd give us those details.
Some scoops there. But I think it's a smart move. I think this notion that like all of the Twins executives in the business operations don't care about fans is not true. I think they do care about fans. Do I think they step in it at times unnecessarily? Yes. The Comcast Bally Sports North thing, technically not their fault, right? Like they didn't create the dissension, the sticking point that took Bally Sports North off Comcast. But yet they knew certainly that contract was coming to an end, and they crossed their fingers that would get done. It didn't. It looks terrible. I'm sorry. They have to take a hit for that as well. But do I think the Twins say, screw the fans constantly? No. Do I think that this season in particular, despite the fact that the team is pretty good, has been rough PR-wise? Absolutely. I think there's a happy medium to discuss here because they're not, the Pohlads and Dave don't sit down for morning coffee on Monday and say, how can we bleep the fans?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. How can we screw Bob in section 320 today?
Mr. Burns, I'm not sure about that move.
Who's Smithers
Mr. Burns,
in?
Mr.
Who
Burns,
is
I don't
Smithers
know.
in the Twins organization?
Yes.
Yes.
They have stepped in it. I think Judd probably kind of sums it up perfectly there. They have stepped in it numerous times. And look, over the last 48 hours, I've seen similar feedback comments on just our YouTube videos, whether it's with Trevor yesterday or just post-trade deadline fallout. And I feel like, personally, a lot of the comments, at least on YouTube, are people saying we are defending and we're not being hard enough on ownership. I don't know, man. I think we have done a pretty good job of talking about this out loud, maybe more than other entities and podcasts. I'm not trying to like pat us three on the back by any means. But I do think there is a little bit of a misconception about the Pohlads, especially this regime with Joe Pohlad. I mean, I'm biased. I did work for the guy. I got to know him on a professional and personal level. I don't think Joe Pohlad's this horrible human being that I see Twitter and YouTube comments about. And I can confirm he's not. He's not that terrible individual. He's just a sports owner. So it's easy to put the pitchforks on him. As a sports fan, I totally get it. I was privileged to obviously work with him for a little while, but I don't think he's as bad as fans make him out to be. That being said, does this team just year after year, maybe ownership regimes after regimes kind of find themselves continuing to, another Simpsons reference, step on the fork like Sideshow, or step on the rake like Sideshow Bob and continue to hit themselves in the head? Yeah, they always seem to continue to do that, though.
Yeah, I would say my biggest critique of the Pohlad ownership over the past 10 to 14-ish years, whenever Target Field opened in 2010, is for a long time it was kind of just like a lack of innovation. And I mean, it was a front office that just sort of fallen behind at times, and they were just like slow. They caught up very quickly with beefing up their front office and scouting and analytics staff in a way that more reflected modern Major League Baseball. And I think lately because they did spend $150-some million on last year's payroll after signing Carlos Correa, despite major medical red flags, to a huge $35 million contract or whatever it was. They built up a lot of goodwill just in the way the team was performing and the money that they were spending. But I think whenever it has come time to tighten the belt a little bit financially, they've had a hard time navigating that messaging. And you're sort of set up, if you're not a top market in baseball, because there's no salary cap, fan bases of the non-large market teams think, well, there's no salary cap and these are all billionaires. And so they should just be able to spend whatever they want. It's an arms race to just like bleed money and spend whatever you want. But the reality is 30 teams in Major League Baseball have 30 different salary caps, in air quotes. And the salary cap for each team is self-imposed based on the break-even point of revenue. It's 30 billionaires who aren't looking to leak money from their net worth. It's 30 billionaires looking to make money as a business. And I think they've had a hard time navigating that messaging and that framing to the public, because people assume, well, you're worth $3.5 billion according to reports. You're one of the 10 richest ownership groups in all of baseball. Therefore, you should be spending like a top 10 rich ownership group. But none of these owners, Yankees, Red Sox, all the way down to Rays, are pulling out of their U.S. bank checking account and just bleeding their own money. They're operating within the parameters of a business. The Twins are telling us, hey, a huge chunk of our local business, the TV revenue, is a huge question going forward. And we don't know how we're going to make that back starting in 2025. And they feel like, oh, let's get out in front of this starting in like October, November and warn people. Yeah. But people don't want to hear that warning. People are like, wait a second, you're telegraphing that you're going to be cheap?
Well,
I don't know what the perfect messaging is, but the way that they have messaged it has not landed right with the fan base. That is safe to say.
If I was to advise the Pohlads, though, after you just ended an 18-game playoff losing streak, and there's excitement, and you did spend, I would advise them, okay, we're going to have to work around this a little bit more beyond just coming out and saying we're going to slash the payroll. The other thing that's a disaster, in my opinion, was the fact that when they announced that, they were sure that they were going to go in with MLB on their games. Then they go back to Bally Sports North after having poor Corey Provis go on a conference call and say, we are going to be streamed. I would not make this move, right? And unfortunately for them, one of their biggest problems is their ventures into the world of media, which clearly are incredibly important to the operation of their baseball team, have been almost nothing but an unmitigated disaster. Victory Sports, you launched a network. Like let's just get our heads around this one. You launched a network when you were playing in the Metrodome, and you were begging for a new stadium. And you basically thought, we're going to stiff arm the cable operators into carrying our channel. You think Comcast gave a damn about them? They're like, no, you're going to take, just like with Bally's now. Comcast is like, you're going to take our deal or we're not going to carry you. The Twins are like, well, then you're not going to carry us. All Comcast does is go to the politicians and say, hey, you know that team that wants a stadium? Well, it's not going to really work because their games aren't shown and fans are pissed. Like, if you look at part of my thing is the way that they operate in media has been just misstep after misstep. And a lot of that is the most important thing when it comes to messaging and PR.
That's where baseball, this is the crazy thing about like baseball versus the NFL is people think, and I think the Wilfs are great owners. I really do.
Yep.
But people give the Wilfs credit for things that really have nothing to do with their own free will. Look at the Wilfs aggressively green-lighting Brett Favre signing 15 years ago. The Wilfs will spend money. No, the NFL has a tightly organized salary cap structure that you can't spend over, and you have to spend up to 90% of it on the bottom end. So every team, because they're bringing in the same amount of national TV revenue, it's all spread across it is impossible to lose money as an NFL owner unless you are wildly incompetent, because you're not allowed to spend more than like $250 million. You're right. It's impossible.
Yeah.
But because it's like, look at they'll spare no expense because there's a cap on the expenses that they can spare. Yeah. And so in Major League Baseball, because there is no cap, it makes the mid and small market teams look cheaper than maybe they actually are. When everyone in every sport is like, you don't become a billionaire by leaking money from your net worth.
But you do have to be, because it's incumbent upon you to do your own TV deals.
Right. And by the way, the NFL doesn't have to worry about that.
Exactly.
The Wills don't have to worry about that.
Well, and there's two things here. One, the Twins have not done, in my opinion, a good job there. And two, MLB flat out has no plan.
MLB needs to save these teams. These teams should not be like running their own media strategy at this
themselves.
point.
That's what amazes me. MLB, they're a disaster. I mean, if you are to believe what I have heard behind the scenes, MLB had told the Twins, hey, you know what? Your contract with Bally's is done. Follow us. Follow us. And so the Twins went off into the proverbial desert and followed Manfred, and they got halfway in. Night fell, and baseball said, you better go back to Bally's. We really can't help you.
I mean, God.
So, but I mean, that's where I feel like the Twins have gotten the baseball ops. Like, you can disagree with it, but to your point, Phil, they've certainly advanced to a curiosity now, right? It's not like the old days, but I feel like the media arm of things needs that same, like, you unfortunately have to go at it by yourself. And that does not mean putting poor Corey Provis on a conference call to say, I guarantee we're going to be streamed, and then be like, oh, sorry, we can't be streamed.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, there's not like I think we've exhausted every angle of this conversation. I would say I got an email from, just one last thing on feedback Friday, then we'll get to a random twin of the week. Someone calling me out specifically for how hard I've been on Glenn Taylor over the years versus the Pohlads. Now, I don't know. Like, I've hammered Glenn in large part because the Timberwolves have been a 20-year embarrassment, like record-wise. They didn't make the playoffs for like almost 2 decades. And they're bungling first-round picks and Steph Curry and everything, right?
Yep.
Embarrassment after embarrassment, bad hire, whiff, here, there.
Yep.
I think there's a huge gap between the way the Timberwolves had been run for a long time until recently, and the Twins, who, by the way, have like made the playoffs a lot more often than not since 2001. Like the last 25 years, the Twins have either made the playoffs or been in contention like 16 different times. And I think we've nitpicked and criticized on our various shows, this show, the old radio show, when it's warranted. But I don't know that you can put what's happened under Glenn Taylor largely over the past couple decades plus to what's happening with the Twins. The Twins have had some bad seasons here and there, but the 0-18 playoff drought was historically bad, which we hammered year after year after year. I just don't know that you can put those two quite in the same sentence. That's just my opinion.
I think the one time period where it would be fair is, how do you move into a new ballpark in 2010, make the playoffs, all this excitement, and then become horse crap? Like, that was beyond perplexing and frustrating. But yeah, for a Lifetime Achievement Award, Glenn wins because your team was crap for, as you said, 20 years.
Yeah, the Twins have been largely competitive and very good for the last 25 years.
Yeah.
Like,
but I mean, you look at this, going back to Carl Pohlad, there are these blips of World Series in 91, really good in 92, and then around 93, 94, the rest of the 90s are a disaster. Then you pop back up and you're competitive, and then you go to Target Field. So I get the frustration completely.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just a lot of things here, and I am worried. I think we discussed this briefly on yesterday's Twin Show. I am very concerned if the payroll went down now with a rights fee check. What's the payroll next year when you probably don't have that check? Yeah. That does concern me a lot, because if you're going to slash more, then you had better be Cleveland. Like, you had your system and your scouting, however you do that now, it better be aces, because that's how you're the only way that you're going to win.
So yeah, keep the feedback coming in here, and we're happy to if you're still frustrated or you have gripes, like, yeah, this is an open forum show here, the Score on Our Twin show. If you haven't already, by the way, cheap plug for our new YouTube channel that we just launched at the beginning of the season. You can click the like and subscribe button on the Score on Our Twin show YouTube channel and be part of that community, help us grow it. And then if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, if you could give us a 5-star rating and a positive review, it also helps us grow the show. It is time for a random twin of the week here.
Baseball.
And it's Declan's turn to throw out the clues. All time, I have 19 wins, Judd 15, Declan with 14. It's a very closely contested battle here. The last handful of random twins are Kenny Rogers, Butch Weiniger, Kenny's Vargas, Dustin Moore, Grant Belfour, and Marty Cordova. And let's see here. Yeah, Declan's going to throw out some clues. Judd and I get up to 3 incorrect guesses. If one of us hits a third strike, the other one wins automatically. No Googling. You can control F if you need to search to see if someone has already been used.
All right. This random twin of the week played in 1,138 games.
All right, okay.
He debuted in Major League Baseball at age 23, playing in 80 games.
So that's a good clue. It's a good clue.
This random twin of the week is a World Series winner. And he played in 2 different World Series, winning 1.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. I think I know it.
This random twin of the week played in 40 MLB playoff games.
Wow. Making deep runs. Deep runs.
Just 5 of them with the Twins.
Iowa Twins. Look.
One of you two tweeted about this guy a ton. The other, I was pretty shocked to find 0 tweets on. I will not specify who had more of the tweets. Maybe quite yet.
I'm going with Mackey. This feels
I
like
was pretty surprised that one of you had next to 0 tweets about this twin. Random twin of the week.
I think that in itself is a clue. I think it actually narrows the time that he played for the Twins very specifically.
Well,
specifically.
It definitely does, because partially when I got on Twitter, for instance, which I think you got on Twitter, right?
I mean, we might as well we're both thinking the same thing. Judd covered the Vikings for the Star Tribune while I was covering the Twins for 1500 ESPN, and he would have been in a Vikings vortex vacuum while I would have been tweeting about just any and every Twins player possible. So
including this savvy veteran.
You have a guess, Phil, or no?
Not yet.
Okay.
No.
Just checking.
All right.
This random twin of the week played in 167 games with the Twins. So it was 1138, 167 with the Twins.
Wait, what was that? Oh, 167 games with the Twins. Got it.
With the Twins of the 1138 of his career.
Got it.
Excuse me while I go to the randos that we've done.
I have a guess, but he would have played in more games than this.
160.
And Judd would have tweeted about him. There's no way.
167.
This random twin of the week's best OPS in a season was 907.
Ooh.
Well, that's pretty good.
Ooh.
Pretty good.
Oh, boy.
And then he never posted another OPS above 760.
What?
Wait, so his best was
07.
907.
And then he never had even an 800 OPS season. Never had a better than 760 OPS season.
I've gone from like great player to slappy. Flash in the pan.
He received MVP votes in that 907 season. Excuse me.
Man, so this guy would have played more than 167. Well, wait. When did they make that trade? But no, he was there for 1 year.
This random twin of the week made $37 million in his major league career.
Wow.
167 games.
17 million came with the Twins. Excuse me. My math is off there. Shockingly. 21 million with the Twins.
Game over.
Whoa.
That's the type of mistake we can't have.
So 37 in his career, 21 with the Twins.
Holy cow. Who are the cheap teams he played for besides the Twins?
Okay, I feel like I'm thinking about this all wrong. No. What? But he only played. So who did they? Oh man,
This is good. I love that.
This is not a guess, but I think Phil's thinking Clee Thomas. That's for sure.
yeah, Clee Thomas. That's a lot of money for a short stint. I'm trying to think of those guys. I mean, okay, Orlando Hudson.
Orlando Hudson is incorrect. We have used Orlando Hudson, I believe.
Oh,
I think you got it, Dex.
Yeah,
that still counts as a guess for me, probably.
does.
Yeah, we
Yep.
did use.
The
Yeah,
O-Dog.
definitely got it. Yeah, the O-Dog. Should have control F.
Where's my control F thing here?
All right, I'm down a guess. That was a wasted guess.
All right. So he won. I was going to take a guess, but so he won World Series with two different teams.
No. He went to 2 World Series, and he won a World Series.
Okay, won a World Series. Okay, won World Series. Okay, I'm
You're
gonna.
not heeding my instructions to you?
I'm gonna take a guess here
Okay.
because I don't think that he's been used. I don't think I'm right. J.J. Hardy.
J.J. Hardy
I was gonna guess
is
him. No,
incorrect.
Okay, yeah, no, I didn't think it was.
he didn't
but
make 21 million with the Twins, and he didn't
Yeah.
play 167 games with the Twins.
I
I had him in my head too.
I had to unleash that take, that hot guess, high and tight. Oh man,
This random twin of the week played shortstop, played third base, played second base, played first base, played left field, played center field,
what?
played right field.
Oh man,
He logged 78 games at 6 different positions.
God, I feel like Phil's gonna get this in a second because he clearly covered this guy. Shortstop, second.
This guy would have played more than 5 playoff games with the Twins, though.
No, we've used him.
This random twin of the week is only 35 years old.
Okay, I'm in the wrong era. That's the problem.
He's only 35 now.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the wrong era.
He is
And
not active.
maybe Judd's the one that's been tweeting about this guy.
He
Yeah.
is not active.
Oh my God! So 35 now. So this is
So he would have came up like.
no. That guy didn't play 167 games. Oh my God! This is
All
great,
right.
Dad.
Now we're in a random time here.
Oh man. I feel like I'm
Okay,
gonna lose this.
is it?
I feel like I'm gonna lose this one.
21
I feel
million
bad.
with the
I'm not
Twins.
feeling good about this one. Not at all. Yep.
Make 21 million with the Twins? Is that accurate?
Yeah. This is where I'm off because every name I think of didn't play enough games and didn't make that much. Played every position basically.
167 games with the Twins.
You got to guess?
Yeah, you want to guess, Phil?
No,
Okay.
I need more clues.
So random twin of the week wore the following numbers in his major league career: 12, 9, 14.
I'm terrible with numbers,
Cool.
so this probably only helps Judd.
Well, he didn't. Okay. That's a clue, though. That's a great clue. It's a fantastic clue.
At
So-
one time, he was a Scott Boras client. He then switched agencies.
Okay, so there's one of those numbers he could not have worn as a 12.
And I feel like you guys are going to shout this out after I say this.
Okay.
So be ready on the trigger.
Okay. All right. Hold on.
He is a figurehead of a large scandal in Major League Baseball. One of the biggest beneficiaries of one of the biggest scandals in Major League Baseball.
Carlos Correa? No, it can't be.
Incorrect. He is a current twin.
Yeah.
And he's made way more than 21 million with the Twins so far.
Yeah, that's true. That was just a dumb thing that
Figurehead. Hold on. Just let that sit there for a second.
came out of my mouth.
How many? Did you give 2 guesses now, Judd?
Oh,
Yes.
Marwin
Ortiz?
Gonzalez.
Ding, ding, ding.
Oh,
Marwin
God.
Gonzalez. Judd loved Marwin Gonzalez. Judd has thousands of tweets
what it was.
about Marwin Gonzalez.
Okay.
Marwin Gonzalez.
All right. That's terrible. I had a terrible
Also,
game.
let it be known,
Good
did
job.
I just win that by
That was his
'Cause
third yes. Right.
Judge shouted an incorrect guess before
but you still
I...
want. Yeah, but I mean, you want.
Yeah.
It's more fair and square that you also.
But
got
if
it
we were
right.
keeping
Damn it.
official records, I would have
Yes.
won by Judd
Default.
just lighting himself on fire there.
Yep.
So
Just
Wow,
going down.
man, that was a journey there for you guys.
that's such a weird,
I
obscure
should-
era of Twins baseball.
I should feel bad I didn't get that, and yet I
You
don't
love
feel
Marwin.
that bad. I did love him. Yeah, I thought he was.
Marwin Gonzalez.
I did. I was a big fan.
I was
Well, that
thinking
a-
like Kadir. Like,
Yeah,
he
that was a terrible
played way more
performance by me.
playoff
I'd like to
games.
apologize, but at least I shouted out 3 guesses, despite the fact that at least one was stupid. So,
Wow. My 20th career victory in random
congratulations.
All right.
Howard Gonzalez, dang.
ScoreNorth.com/auction if you want to hang out on the executive balcony with us. $99 tickets. All of it goes to benefit Courage Kenny. ScoreNorth.com/auction. Judd's clues next week. I'm sure we're going to have hell to pay.
oh God.
No, I'm not mad.